Professor Kindiki, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, to make his remarks and invite him.
Your Excellency President William Ruto, Excellency First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto, all protocols observed. I have picked 4 quick things from this conversation. The first one is the duty that every Kenyan has to pay taxes for the development of our country. That it is important that as a country we continue informing and mobilizing the people of Kenya, corporates and natural persons, that it is a duty to pay tax so that we can use that tax to build our country. Number 2, that when we go out there to seek support in terms of getting money for development, we actually end up being lent money which are savings from taxpayers of other countries. And therefore, it is only fair that we find ways of making sure that we can generate resources from our own sources. The third thing I've picked, Your Excellency, especially from my brother C.S. Mbadi and the chairman and the CG, and the Commissioner General, is that for us to be able, therefore, to generate enough taxes, enough revenue to build our country, there is need for KRA to invest in better systems of collection and better practices of collecting that revenue. And that includes also good relations with taxpayers and abandoning old style and old methods of collecting taxes, which in the past included harassing taxpayers who are actually the main clients in this exercise. The final thing that I've picked, Your Excellency, is that going forward, the country will require to enhance accountability mechanisms to ensure prudent use of the taxes that we collect. And you have led us very strongly on that front in the last 2 years, Your Excellency, as you continue to remind us that all of us who are tasked with managing public resources must be accountable and must avoid misuse or misappropriation of public funds as the only sure way of generating public confidence in the government and encouraging and motivating the people of Kenya to pay taxes. And I'm sure as we continue into the future, a more transparent culture within government on prudence, use of public resources will encourage many more people, both natural persons and corporate persons, to pay their taxes because they can see that their taxes are being used well. Therefore, Your Excellency, today being my first day in office, I want to try not to say many things. I just want to say that I'm happy for the privilege you've given me to assist you in running the affairs of the country. And as I said earlier today, I'll try and do my best with the support of my brothers and sisters in government. And I know there are many friends already in government whom I can depend on, even as we all support you to take us to the next level.
The same way, one hospital I know had more accountants than medical staff because they were gaming the NHIF. This, ladies and gentlemen, we must have a candid conversation and stop it. John, you have my support as you go after those people who game the system. We must stop them. And finally, we must also make sure that government does not pay more money for services or goods than we should. And it is the reason why the e-procurement that you have talked about here, it's been on the cards for far too long. This is the time to implement e-procurement. We must be transparent. It must be open. How much is government paying for this? Have a candid conversation, and stop it. John, you have my support as you go after those people who game the system. We must stop them. And finally, we must also make sure that government does not pay more money for services or goods than we should. And it is the reason why the e-procurement that you have talked about here, it's been on the cards for far too long. This is the time to implement e-procurement. We must be transparent. It must be open. How much is government paying for this service or that product? And how does it compare with prices in the market? There is absolutely no reason why government should be paying 10, 20, 50% more than the actual prices in the market. And the way to make it transparent is to put it on a digital platform so that Kenyans know who supplied what, at what price, who was awarded, and we get the benefit of making sure. And this morning, I made a telephone call, and your PS knows we already have a team that is working with our colleagues from Indonesia who have done a wonderful job on making sure that e-procurement works. We must learn from best practice and make sure that we too as a country move in the steps that will make Kenya accountable and deal firmly with issues of corruption in government. Additionally, we are committed to significantly increase domestic revenue mobilization by ensuring that every eligible taxpayer contributes their fair share to support development and services, with no one, and I mean no one, evading their duty or benefiting unfairly from others' contribution. I am pleased to announce that our collective efforts are yielding positive results. In October 2024, this year, the chairman, the CG have said this: inflation dropped to 2.7%, the lowest in 17 years. This stability resulted from favorable weather, consistent fuel prices, and deliberate fiscal measures to support our food production efforts. Our currency, on the other hand, has strengthened against the dollar, moving from 160 in January to 129 in October. And our GDP grew by 5.6 in 2023, up from 4.9 in 2022, indicating a solid economic recovery trajectory. To sustain this progress and promote fairness, we must enhance equity and effectiveness of tax revenue mobilization. This means that our tax measures must be fair and every eligible entity must pay. It also means that the partnership between government and taxpayers must be based on a dynamic reciprocity, with the government using effective policies and efficient public investment to enable taxpayers to thrive, create jobs, and create wealth and make money. As I As can be noted in this year's theme, trade is vital that requires robust facilitation to grow our economy. For a while now, we have been making significant progress in improving the ease of doing business, enhancing Kenya's appeal to local and foreign investors, streamlining the regulatory environment, and empowering businesses. I'm sure next week the National Treasury will be forwarding proposals that John spoke about to Parliament for us to create a better environment for us to do business. Proposals such as tax amnesty that provides a win-win outcome both for taxpayers and also the Kenya Revenue Authority, and many other proposals that is good for business. Because when business is doing well, we can collect more taxes and we can all do well. We have resolved to establish